Good morning, I'm Anna Palmer.
And I'm Jake Sherman.
And welcome to the Daily Punch, brought to you by Punchable News. It's Thursday, July 9th, 2026. Let's get in the mix. Here are your Washington headlines of the day. Number one, new Iran fighting threatens Trump and the GOP. Number two, Platner drops out. What's next for the Maine Senate race? And number three, the GOP duel for the top slot on House budget. All right, Jake, let's get to it. We are leading off Punchable News AM this morning with a look at how the continued and escalation of fighting in Iran is going to prove to be challenging, not only for the president, but certainly for Republicans. U.S. forces attacked around 90 Iranian sites for the second night in a row on Wednesday, according to U.S. Central Command. Iran has targeted sites in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar, with air raid warnings going off at the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet headquarters. I mean, this is a pretty big escalation here, and the president's response saying he doesn't know what's next, right? If they can come to a deal or they can't, is a problem for Hill Republicans because they've been hearing this line from Trump for months with no permanent peace deal reached.
There's two, I don't know about distinct, but there's at least two issues worth thinking about here. Number one, the clock is restarting now on kinetic military action, which is going to bring Trump a whole host of uncomfortable votes on Capitol Hill on a whole host of issues in regards to Iran. And they're going to effectively force more votes on War Powers resolutions, War Powers Act resolutions on the House and Senate floor. There's no doubt about that. Number two is the growing skepticism over the strategy. I mean, Trump's been saying for months, he's been in search of a deal. He said there was a deal. There was an MOU. The MOU is now gone. What is the end game here? He now says that there is no, effectively, he's been saying there is no deal with Iran that would make sense. And that is not going to be a welcome sign. I mean, that points to a continuing and growing conflict. That's a second plank, and a related third plank is the $67 billion that Congress is asking, that the White House is asking Congress for. The idea was this was submitted after military action was complete, Anna. We've talked about that a lot. Military action is not complete. And then you get into the discussion. Trump wants $350 billion now for the Pentagon. He ain't going to get that. Could he even get $67 billion? I'm skeptical. That would have to go to reconciliation package. It's not going to happen in a bipartisan supplemental bill, even if the administration put in the bill items that Democrats are open to. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think where the president and a lot of Hill Republicans are in very different places when it comes to this conflict, and kind of the patience is fraying clearly, right? I mean, we've been reporting on not only the Senate hawks, but now the House hawks this week, and their frustration with wanting to get more information from this administration. There's been this full court press by administration officials, including Secretary Hegseth, to come up to the Hill, Secretary Rubio to try to explain what the strategy, what the focus is going to be. And now, everybody was pointing to this de-escalation, and whether you liked the MOU or not, that they have made some progress. And now it feels like you're back to start the starting point here, right? There is no strategy or end game that this administration has laid out. And going into election season, I think you're going to find a lot of skeptical Republicans that they want to lay it all on the line for here. And the other concern, which we haven't talked about yet, which is this idea of the price of gas. And when members look towards their reelection efforts, and there's, rising gas prices because of what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz, there's going to be potentially that impacts inflation, impacts the economy. How do they say that Republicans are good stewards of the economy when these things are happening? I think those are real life instances where you're going to have Republican lawmakers take a second look here.
This will breed economic uncertainty, Anna. I mean, there's no question about that. The Dow was down 576 points yesterday. Futures right now, it's just before 5 a.m. It's 442. Are basically flat. We'll see if that holds, but oil is spiking. And far from me being an economic expert, I have no idea about how markets react or don't react to these things. It's going to breed economic uncertainty and political uncertainty, Anna. I mean, the fact that candidates will say Trump got us into this mess, how are we getting out of it is a problem for Republicans.
All right, Jake, let's move on to the number two story of the morning. Graham Platner's Maine Senate campaign is over. He put out an angry video on social media last night talking about that. But the big question now that he has dropped out of the race is what is next? There's already been a lot of speculation and frustration about, oh, is the National Party getting involved? How does the state party going to handle it? We report this morning that the Maine Democratic Party leaders voted Wednesday to hold a 600-person nominating convention to choose a replacement for Platner. This is going to be a group of more than 100 people holding a emergency meeting to sketch out this plan. I mean, it's complicated, Jake, in a short amount of time for them to agree upon a candidate and then also to successfully launch this candidate, to be able to try and beat Susan Collins.
It's a tough situation because I would imagine, without having, I don't know this to be fact, but you'd have to guess that D.C. Democrats, the ones who will be spending tens of millions of dollars on this race to try to defeat Susan Collins, would like a much more controlled process. Doesn't matter what they want that much because they have to. The Democratic Party in Maine has to show that they are listening to the voices of the party base, which just saw their candidate Graham Platner flame out, obviously, in this campaign. We are going to have today the perfect guest on Flyout Day today. That's J.B. Porsche, who is the president of SMP, Senate Majority PAC. It'll be a very interesting conversation. I thought we had all the questions written, Anna, and then I think this morning I'm going to have to spend some time rewriting some of those questions, but this is going to be messy and they don't have much time. They have to do it soon. It'll have to in the next, there's I think 18 days, right? Before July 27th, they have to get a candidate. And the other challenging thing, Anna, is that it has to be a candidate that can win, right? That has a chance of winning. I'm sure we'll see polling over the next couple of weeks about who that candidate might be. And then it also has to be a candidate that captures at least some of the excitement that Graham Platner had, right? I don't think you're going to get all of that, but you're going to have to get some of it.
Yeah, it is going to be really interesting to watch. You already have former Maine Senate President Troy Jackson running and on fundraising. Our Revolution reiterated its endorsement of Jackson after Platner's exit, but he is not a sure thing. There's a bunch of other figures in the Maine Democratic Party, business owners and others that their names are in the mix. Going to be something very interesting to watch. We are going to be talking to J.B. Porsche about all of this and the Senate map overall, and how they see it playing and what states they think there's opportunities for pickups. Really looking forward to that conversation. Let's move on to the number three story of the morning. The GOP duel for budget's top job. I love these kinds of inside stories because they are the kind of lifeblood of what you and I get excited about when it comes to Punchbowl News and the inside game of Washington. We don't even know who's going to be in the majority in the House after the election, but we've got
No, we don't.
Lloyd Smucker, the Republican from Pennsylvania, and Blake Moore, the Republican from Utah, facing off already behind the scenes, trying to curry favor with members of the powerful steering committee, as well as others, saying they want the job to talk about the budget, the deficit, something that Republicans under the Trump era have not focused that much on, Jake.
Like zero on. But Smucker, they're going to start talking about it if there's a Democratic president. But Lloyd Smucker and Blake Moore are out for this gavel. Moore is a member of leadership already. Smucker is the more senior member of the committee. He has been involved in a lot of these fights over reconciliation, et cetera. This will be good for the NRCC because these guys are going to want to outraise and out-donate to the committee. They are playing to a very small group of people. That's the House Steering Committee, House Republican Steering Committee, that is responsible for this. Laura did a great job here on this item. I probably don't deserve my name on this, so I'll probably take it off. But this is mostly Laura here, who did a great job on capturing what Smucker and Moore are trying to sell to their House Republican colleagues. So check it out in the newsletter.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. If you like the Daily Punch, share it on social media, tell your friends. It's the best way to find out about us. And of course, you can go deeper on all things Punchbowl News at punchbowl.news. Have a great day and stay safe, everybody.